Welcome to Ideas All Day podcast, where we definitely not people who know things on a high tier level that can give advice on. We'll discuss our ideas and then we rate our ideas either into the adequate ideas pile, the terrible ideas pile, or the excellent ideas pile. Now let's do some introductions. And Kate, why don't you get us started today? How are you doing on this fine day?
I am not piling into those piles. So you can say I'm ornery today because I refuse to pile your special piles.
They're not special. They're all equal in their own way.
Yeah, no.
They just classified differently.
I'm going good, bad, and ideas. I just can't today. So yeah, that's how I'm doing.
All right. Well, you know what? Fair enough. How about you, Ajax? How are you feeling? Are you feeling adequate today? Maybe excellent?
I am way like adequate. Adequate.
Yep. Those are
adequate.
That sounds like a
excellent.
Some sort of alternative COVID treatment that you would buy on the black market.
Yeah. That sounds about true.
Nice. It was between adequate and excellent.
Yeah. I'd like to think it's something that's like treats chinchilla, hair loss.
Take care of your chinchillas that have hair loss.
They're so soft.
They're so fluffy.
They are. They're fluffy and soft.
I mean, I guess if I was a chinchilla, I'd be in a good mood if I had all my hair.
Speaking of hair loss, fun fact, in case anyone's out there, you guys ever heard of oxytocin?
Yes.
Heard of it.
Yeah, it's the sleep aid that a lot of people take. Back in the day, I used to have an animal that had hair loss, and they made me give it that to help with its hair loss, which never worked.
Oh,
but it was just weird. And I always think about it because I have it for when I really want to get some sleep. I just remember always taking it and used to giving it for hair loss purposes to a weasel.
To a weasel.
Oh, that poor bald weasel.
Her tail was losing. His tail was losing hair on the tip.
Oh, that poor balding weasel.
Yeah,
that sounds so sad and pathetic.
Yeah, it was only like of his 8-inch long tail. It was only like the last inch of it, but it was still a little pathetic.
Oh,
yeah. Otherwise, he was fine.
I had a guinea pig that lost all her hair. That was Ginger.
After the root.
After, I don't know, but we also had a guinea pig at the time named Freddie. So there was Freddie.
Fred and Ginger.
Freddie was all black and Ginger was brown and white.
So like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers?
Yes.
Aw. That's so cute.
So cute. But not a chinchilla.
No. But speaking of animals losing their hair, Alex, how are you doing today?
Wow, thanks, Kate. Go F yourself. I was doing adequate, now I'm doing terrible. Because you're just mean. You just I was to come here, have fun with people I thought were my friends. And now
all right. I'm sorry.
Here, Are you adequate?
Let's try a different approach. No. Speaking of gingers,
no, I'm done.
Hey, Alex, how are you doing today?
Now you're just being racist. I hate you. I didn't know you had an idea.
I didn't know you had feelings because I thought you had no soul. So
you go right in the bad ideas pile. Just you as a person.
Oh wait, you dropped the terrible ideas pile already?
Yeah, no, it's going right into because terrible. No, it's bad. It's bad. I'll dig an extra hole out of spite and then put you in that hole, and it's even more extra terribler.
Our first spite hold.
Yes. Where you're actually actively getting buried in. And
we're not even past the intros yet. That's a record for me.
Speaking of intros, it's our great job at doing segues. But what's our topic for today?
Today's topic is ideas for job titles. And starting off is Kate.
Thanks, Ajax. All right. So I've had in my past several different job titles. Some were very stupid. Some were very much plain and ordinary. So the one thing I found when I had really weird job titles is that it created confusion on who was like a supervisor and who was a manager and who was in what position for the customer. So my first idea is to have super creative and confusing titles so that the customer doesn't know who they're talking to. My one job had me listed as the director of first impressions, which when you hear the title director, you think, wow, this is someone important. This is someone who's probably leading a team or is managing some sort of project. I was basically a receptionist, and I was the first impression the customer got. So I got the title of director of first impressions. So when I was on the phone, it didn't really matter. But when I sent out emails, that's where the title had some weight to it. Because if you email someone with a title of director, they think, oh, this person's important. This person knows what they're doing. You get kind of a better response than if you just send an email out that says receptionist. So idea number one, super creative titles and confusing titles to confuse customers. Idea number two, I would like maybe to have private companies use military titles, because everybody kind of has a sense of the hierarchy in the military. You know, you have your 5-star general, your 4-star general, you have major sergeants, privates. So I thought maybe if other companies use that, people would have a better sense of who's doing what and what's going on, who's in charge of who. So yeah, adopting military titles is my second idea. My third idea is universal titles. So I've had a few jobs. The difficult thing doing a job search, like be it that you've quit or you've been laid off, is to find positions that are similar to the position that you had, especially if they're not classified in other companies as the same title. So when I was job searching after my director of first impressions, you know, if I applied for a receptionist job, people would be like, well, this person's totally overqualified for a receptionist gig. They were a director. Why does this person want to have a receptionist job? So I kind of would like in this perspective of a new hire, someone who's looking for a job, to have very universal titles. So things like customer service rep, manager, you know, director, vice president, CEO. So we sort of already have that, but not everywhere. It gets a little confusing for some people. I was a customer service rep in a different company and they called me an account manager, but I wasn't managing accounts. Like I didn't have certain accounts that I managed. I managed all the accounts of whoever called in. So when I was looking for a new job and I was searching account manager, I wasn't finding the matches that I was looking for. So universal titles is usually a helpful thing. And then my last idea, plain and easy understandable titles. And when I mean plain and easy understandable titles, I mean things like the boss, the underling, the gopher, the decision maker, the worker bee. Something so you know exactly where you are in that company. I had the problem where I was employed and I thought I was like a peon. And then certain events happened and I realized, oh, I'm actually kind of the shit. I'm doing a lot more than everybody else is in the company. I'm getting paid less than most of the people in the company. And it's kind of like my job title didn't make it clear that I was the shit, but made it seem like, oh, I'm just another underling. So having that plain and easy, understandable title would have been nice. So I kind of knew where I stood in the company. And if I could, I would love to change my job title to the shit. If I had to pick an easy, plain job title, I think the shit would fit me perfectly because I am the shit at my job. So yeah, those were my 4 ideas. Ajax, why don't you pile my ideas first?
Why, certainly. All right. So for your first idea of super creative and confusing titles to confuse the customers. I always enjoyed your director of first impressions job title. I never really understood what it meant half the time, but like then I was like, but it's got a good ring to it. But for just having a super creative and confusing job title to confuse the customers, would that be good for business in the long run? You can't identify who you're talking to within the, I guess, in the company.
Like the people in the company know who's who, but it's the people outside of the company that would have no idea.
So it's sort of like take you away from the company customer service aspect of the job. As long as the job is getting done, then it really doesn't matter then who you are. If I was a customer calling on the phone and I just got you, and I don't care who you technically are, but if you're treating me right and getting the job done for a service, that's bonus points. So
Well, and the other thing is, in customer service, I've dealt with a lot of problematic people that they just don't want to talk to Joe Schmo. They want to talk to someone important. So if someone else was on a call and they're like, you know what, I want to speak to someone above you. And then they would be like, oh, let me put you through to the director of first impressions. That person's more likely to be like, oh, I'm satisfied. I got a director on the phone and I got to talk to that person about my problem and get it solved. When in fact, it's just a receptionist they're talking to.
if I'm just the customer calling and then that's the person I'm talking to, and like, oh, that's a great title. But also I wouldn't sometimes feel either way about it if I'm talking to whoever on the other end. I'm open the ideas pile going towards good, because if I really don't care about it and somebody else might care, so they might not put it in the same pile, but I don't care. So for your second idea of private companies to use military titles, I mean, you would know where you were in the company, maybe. Could you wear an outfit too, so everybody knew where you were as well? Like a specific, badge, you get badges and medals of honor as you,
like stars and stuff, patches that tells you
Yeah.
your rank. I mean, depending on the job environment, that would be kind of like if you have to wear a uniform, that might be a thing you could do.
that'd be a sweet ass uniform.
But like right now where I'm working in an office and I get to wear jeans and t-shirts. So I don't want to have to sew on badges to all my t-shirts just so
I
people
think
know.
I would want to clink as I'm walking through the forest.
Oh, you want like the pins.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be kind of fun.
I mean, you can wear some costumes to work. Yeah. Why not? I'll put that in the at least the ideas pile. I don't hate the idea. Having universal titles for your third idea. Yeah, it's an idea. It's very common to have those titles within the realm of workspace, and it does tell you where you are. I also like creative ones too, some creative job titles as well. I mean, yeah, I don't hate it. It's great. It's an idea. Ideas pile. And for the fourth idea, plain, easy, understandable job titles, somewhere you know exactly where you are and you want to be the shit.
Yes, I would like to be the shit.
Okay, well, I think that's also good, because then everybody knows where you are. So I'll put this one good ideas pile. And I wouldn't mind calling you the shit.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of like Alex being the talent and I would be the shit. And then I don't know what we would call you yet.
Could you wear like a poo costume, like an emoji poop costume?
Can I just wear an emoji poop shirt?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then yes, I would be fine with that.
Nice. Cool. All right. And those are my pilings.
Thank you, Ajax. Alex, why don't you gracious with your talents and pile these ideas?
Well, I don't know about talent, but I will definitely pile your ideas, as is the name of the game of this show. So for your first idea of using titles to confuse customers, this is a terrible idea, because, and this is why I'm going to tell you that, not because you make a very good point to say, because I agree with the point you made where people want to talk to a higher up and all this stuff, when 9 times out of 10, it can be handled by someone on a normal level. They just think they need this self-importance to get something done by the manager or by the supervisor or whoever, where 9 times out of 10, the person you're probably talking to is going to do it better. That part. The reason I'm saying it's bad is because you're trying to confuse people. Because if they're trying to find the right person to talk to, and they are going to have to jump through hoops just to figure out, and they don't understand who they should be talking to or why, where, your director of first impressions might be the person you're trying to find, but your director of relations is the one you keep talking to, and they're not the one. Or, God forbid, the person that you think you're supposed to be talking to has no idea what's going on. And then they act like they know what's going on because they think they're the shit. And all of a sudden think you've got the right idea. And then you go back going, none of this was what you said was true. What the hell? I talked to blah, 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 who should be in charge or says they're in charge because they're director of blah, blah, blah. And going, no, they're just, they just started last week and they're brand new. It's an entry level position. It could cause more problems in those cases as well. Versus if, yes, you're still going to have people that are go with the normal titles going, I want to talk to your manager. I have a problem. I need to talk to the manager. It's like, well, here, let me talk to you about, let me get some details on the problem. And then I can let them know. And then during the conversation, once you realize what the problem is, go, you know what, actually, I can help you with this. And you're all set. So you get the whole story where they think you're going to just pass it on. So you can say it's, let me get the details and then I'll pass it on to them so they know exactly what's going on when you talk to them instead of retelling it. So if you use that logic, they tell you exactly what you want to know. And then you'll know, do I need to pass this on or can I take care of this myself? And you get it all in one shot. And the customer only has to say it once. So that's why it's going in the bad ideas pile.
That's very clever. I like that, Alex.
This is what I do. This is the crap I deal with all the time. I've been on both ends of it.
Ooh.
On
both ends of the shit.
Both ends of the people trying to tell me they need to talk to my supervisor, and then other times when they're talking to people who will work with me and then going, I need to talk to this guy, and it's something stupid and just something that they can definitely take care of with no issue whatsoever. Could have taken care of it 5 minutes prior to even me picking up the phone. So that's where that is. All right. So for your second idea of the private company using military titles, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile. I know exactly where you're coming from. There's just 2 issues I've got with it. Number one is, this was kind of a minor one, but depends on the industry where people actually might think it's related to the military. There's there will be concern because you're saying, I need Sergeant Thomas to help you out with this, or Sergeant at Arms or whatever, who's just, IT. You don't know that. And all you're thinking is, oh my God, am I in the right place?
Did I accidentally contact the Army?
Is this a military contractor or doing something like that? So that's why I'm kind of saying that's the confusing part. Number 2 is more so with the internal ones. If you're a private and then you have a sergeant, are they going to be an asshole? Are they going to be a drill sergeant and have that military mentality when you're just there to do your job? You didn't join the military, you joined a company in that regard. So I just, would hate to see that being abused just because they're using military titles. Your third idea of universal titles, which is the complete opposite of your first idea. So thus goes in the good ideas pile. It's clear, concise, to the point, gets the job done. People have a much clearer idea of who they're talking to and who they should be talking to or why they're talking to them. Yes, my previous point still stands, but hopefully if you have the right training and can do it in a manner, it should make a difference. So for your fourth idea of using plain, easy, understandable titles, which at first I was thinking, isn't that your third idea? Until you started going, the boss, the shit, and all this other stuff. And that's when I immediately goes in the bad ideas pile for this one. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those can be very demeaning if you start putting titles like that on there. If you call me the boss, you call me the boss, or you call me the shit. It's like, I'm good, you're a piece of garbage. It's totally the wrong impression in that regard.
See, if you're calling me a peon, that makes me want to work harder to get out of the peon era. Yeah. And also, just a fun factoid, John Wayne Gacy used to he was given a few KFC chains. And whenever he had interacted with his employees, he would have them referred to him as the Colonel.
Wait,
I can see how that
wasn't John Wayne Gacy the BTK, but no.
John Wayne Gacy was the killer clown.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of the Night Stalker? What's his
I don't know,
face?
but I just know that his name is like 3 letters, and
Fine.
he'd be a great sandwich.
Yeah.
It's like
That-
bind,
that's
kill,
an idea.
BK,
No, bind, torture, kill.
BTK.
TK.
Yeah, it's a great
That's
sandwich.
That's an idea for a restaurant. Have a serial killer themed restaurant.
Yeah.
But that
Oh, yeah.
anyway, that was just a factoid in regards to titles and having that dickish person being like, "Well, you're going to call me the Colonel at KFC because I'm the boss."
Boss.
No.
17
No,
herbs
no.
and spices.
And then if you're called and if you have your supervisor calling you a peon, that's very demeaning. And yes, for some people that may push them harder, and for other people, it's going to make them hate coming into work because they feel like they're being treated like a peon, and there's no way of making it out of that, and would rather either get out of there or aren't gonna. It's demeaning. So no, I'm totally in the bad ideas pile. Those were my pilings.
Thanks, Alex. Ajax, why don't you do your ideas?
Okay. So for my first idea, this is based off of my own life and my own position at work. My job title at work is called Stewardship Coordinator. And whenever I try to describe what I do for my job, it's kind of like my mind goes blank. It's not a very good descriptor of what I do. But so I was thinking if I change my name to like a stewardship conductor, on the other hand, I can conduct land management and maintenance that benefits the natural health of the ecosystems. I perform stewardship actions that move with the time of the seasons. And pretty much my instruments are the birds and the amphibians and the wind. And the tempo of my work is driven by the heat and the light. So, plus, if I had conductor in the title, I would have some good actions to go with it as well. That's my first idea. Change my name from stewardship coordinator to stewardship conductor. The second idea is not my idea at all and is actually Rob's job title, which I always find very intriguing. So I just wanted to share it here. This is not necessarily it might be hard to pile because it is what it is, but his job title is a cellulose alchemist. So his job is as a woodworker, and he runs electrical current through wood to make burning patterns in the forms of like lightning or riverine valleys. So I get a kick out of this job title, and I just wanted to share it. Cellulose meaning wood fibers, and alchemy meaning alchemy. It's like magic, chemistry-ish. So for my third idea, is also based on what I do too, which I do a lot of, pole play in my spare time. I dance with my friends. I hang out. I like to hang out together and pole dance together with anybody who wants to do it. I do it with quite a few people throughout the week. So I wanted to call myself a pole mate. I don't necessarily teach. I don't necessarily don't do it not on my own. So I didn't want to call myself a pole playmate because that would be, that would add to a lot of questions. So I was going to call myself a pole mate. And that's my idea. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ajax. Alex, did you want to pile them?
All right. So for your first idea of being a stewardship conductor, this immediately goes in the good ideas pile because trains. Because the conductors, trains, choo-choo, all aboard the stewardship train, choo-choo. Yeah, so yeah, no, automatically goes in the good ideas pile. Still don't understand what the title refers to, but all I know is trains, and trains are cool. So for your second idea of the cellulose alchemist, I'm going to put this one in the ideas pile, mostly because I appreciate the cellulose part and the reference to wood, the alchemy part. It's where it trips it up. Because alchemy is about converting base metals. Since you're not changing the wood to gold, can you really call it alchemy?
That's a good point.
So
Since I didn't know what alchemy actually was, there you go.
I mean, classically, it's the goal is, philosopher's stones and turning lead into gold. I can't put anything higher than the ideas pile. And then for your last idea, the pole mate. for some reason, because I know you do the pole dancing, but for some reason, all I can imagine is just an Australian person on a barber pole. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind.
Sweet.
Because I know it's not what you're referring to at all, but it's the first, just because a barber's pole came to mind, and mate, because Australia. I'm going to put in the good ideas pile because I like koalas, and those are my pilots.
Thanks, Alex.
So I guess I will go ahead and pile your ideas, Ajax.
Thanks, Kate.
Changing your title from stewardship coordinator to stewardship conductor. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile simply because I think the thing that is tripping me up in your job title isn't the coordinator or the conductor part, but the stewardship part. So maybe if it was something more like land management conductor or land management coordinator would make more sense to me than stewardship coordinator. So,
Yeah, it's a hard word. You got to define the word, and it's not an easy one to define.
It's not a common word.
It's like you take care of something. It's pretty much that's what it is to take care of something.
Yeah. So I meant land management. That makes sense to me. You're managing the land. You're taking care of the land. And then if you're a coordinator or conductor, you're the one who's kind of putting the pieces together to take care of the land. So I'm going to put this in the ideas pile, leaning towards good, because I feel like we do need more conductors. The fact that music and trains have like cornered the monopoly on the word conductor is kind of upsetting. I feel like we should definitely branch out with more conductors.
Thanks.
For Rob's job title, Cellulose Alchemist, it's a cool title. However, wouldn't be in search of a cellulose alchemist. So if I were on Rob's Instagram, if I were on angrynivuswoodcrafts.com, I wouldn't be like, oh, there's that cellulose alchemist, but that would be kind of a cool thing to have on a business card. But it's not like one of those transferable titles. So if he's marketing himself as this and he's trying to stand out from all the other wood burners, then I would say this is an interesting title. So I'm going to put this also in the ideas leaning towards good. I still have a little beef with using alchemy once Alex refreshed us on what alchemy is really all about. So that's why it's not fully in the good ideas.
Because it's not fully true.
Because it's not fully true. It's a little misleading, but it does have him stand out. So I do like it.
And it makes people think that he does that, but he doesn't.
Yeah. Whatever he touches turns to gold. So there you go. All of his wood burnings. And technically he's selling them. So he is converting his wood burnings into cash, which could then be also gold. But that's a stretch.
Unless he got real gold.
Unless he got real gold for his work.
Mm-hmm.
Idea number 3, pole mate. I like the title. The problem is you're not employed.
No.
So it's not necessarily a job title.
I know, but it's a job title without money or...
Like you're not volunteering either as a pole mate. You're hanging out with your friends doing activities that you like to do.
Yeah.
It's weird to come up with a title for that. Like I don't hang out with friends and be like, oh, we're escapists because we go to escape rooms and we escape the rooms. So like I'm not going to get business cards written up for that. I'm not going to put that on my resume. So I like the title of pole mate. I'm really torn because the assignment was job titles.
It's like a volunteer job.
You're not even volunteering, so to speak. You're hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
Unless if you consider hanging out with me like work you're not getting paid for, which, wow, that hurt. That hurt hard.
So hard.
I'm going to put in the ideas pile leaning towards bad, just simply because it's not a job. You're just hanging out with your friends doing pole. But I mean, I guess if you're like cliquey and you want to call your group the pole mates, your weekend hang with the pole mates, I guess that would be okay.
You'll
But
be my
yeah.
pole mate.
I got to get more in shape to get on that pole again.
Alex,
Oh.
you'll be my pole mate.
Once I'm there, I will be your pole mate.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
I said once I get there, I'll be your pole mate.
Yeah, but he said he would be my pole mate.
I would be your pole mate in like, give me 3 months.
You were here today.
But I wasn't polling because
it was a mirror time.
It was. And it's a lot harder when you're a little bit heavier to poll. So let me lighten up a little and I can then be your poll mate.
Okay, good. Alex, you too.
Me too.
Those were my pilings.
Good. Everybody can be them, my poll mates. Thank you, Kate.
If you want to be one of Ajax's poll mates, you can reach out to her at ideasalldaypodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. We can discuss this.
That could be our fan club. We can be the poll mates.
That would be really cute.
Yeah. We can get merch. Alex, why don't you give us your ideas?
My ideas really come from just coming up with thinking of jobs that have kind of somewhat either older or mediocre jobs, or think they need a little bit of a refresher. So they're not ones I've ever had myself. Some would be pretty cool, but for the most part, just ones I was kind of coming up with and thought need a bit of a refresher. And the first one I came up with was janitor. I mean, we've heard of all sorts of things. People have called them like sanitation persons, they're just so it's, to try and get away from, the negative connotation the janitor title can sometimes have. Even though they are very essential, especially at the larger the building, when they're not there or if they're not doing if you are in between janitors, have a replacement or someone to do the job, that place gets real nasty real quick. So they deserve a much more befitting title, or at least one more appreciative. So my first idea is to change the idea from janitor to supreme commander of the mop, sink, and floors. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to be called the supreme commander of anything? You know where they stand, because guess what? No one else in that building is going to be doing their job. They want someone who takes pride in their job. And they are the master of their domain. And no one else is going to tell them what to do. Because as long as it's getting done, everyone else there is going to be happy. Now, for my second job title idea, it's a little bit more unusual because it's a job for people, but it's not necessarily a job that they should have. And that's burglar. I think they should change it a little bit because burglar's an old title, little too passe. When you have the kids growing up nowadays, they don't know what that means. It's like they don't even know who the Ghostbusters are, for God's sakes. So you got to make it something they would understand exactly what that person should be doing. And that is a possession relocation and reallocation specialist, aka someone who takes your stuff and then brings it somewhere else to sell it. Now, for my third idea is a job that's very demanding. Not everybody can do. It's very much takes a lot of training, a lot of specialization, and that's competitive eating. But competitive eater is kind of although interesting job, kind of a lame title. It's not cool enough. So I think we should change it over to being an ambitious, high-speed mastication and digestion specialist. And then for my last idea, it's a job that only one person ever really has. And it's a job that only one person can really do. And that job title is going to be President of Overnight Endowment and Logistics. And the only person who can ever have that title is the man himself, Santa Claus, since he delivers a lot of donations or endowments to children overnight. And it takes a lot of, movement here and there. He's got to plan that out. And that's all logistics. He needs the people to understand the difficulty of his job, and not to mention that it's out of the kindness of his heart. People forget that. It's like, they make these things, they give them out for free, and no one realizes.
Can you say that again?
Which one?
The last Santa's job.
The president of Overnight Endowment and Logistics. And those are my ideas.
Thanks, Alex. I'm going to pile these first. So for your first idea, instead of the janitor, the supreme commander of the mop, sink, and floor, how would you feel about if it was the supreme commander of the MSF?
Sounds like a military force.
Yeah.
And again, you wouldn't necessarily know what that person's responsibilities are.
Okay.
Because that could mean MSF is acronym for who knows what.
Yeah. I want to put this in the ideas pile. It's really kind of long-winded, but I do believe that we should give janitorial staff the respect that should be given to them, and with a title that is respectful. For ideas 2 to 4, they're all in the bad ideas pile.
How dare you?
They're just way too wordy, and it's just way too confusing. You know,
Your face is confusing.
A burglar, you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You know, if it's not a burglar, you know, a thief is fine. Everybody knows what a thief is.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Competitive eater, the high speed mastication and digestive specialist. That's too wordy. And like, coming from me, that says a lot, because I am nothing but wordy. And then Santa Claus being the president of overnight endowments and logistics. That's just, once again, it's just super wordy.
You just don't appreciate these guys. You don't appreciate the work they do.
I
Obviously, that's really what it is I think you just don't appreciate the hard work and talent and effort these gentlemen put into their jobs, that they don't deserve lengthy and wordy and complicated titles. Coming from the person who literally had an idea of titles to confuse customers.
I know.
So
And
keep that
to
in
be
mind.
to be fair, 2 of 3 of those positions I do not respect. So, yeah.
Wow, you don't respect janitors?
No, janitors
You don't respect.
I gave an ideas for janitors.
Wow, you don't respect.
I think I gave a good ideas for ideas leaning towards good. I think I gave for
competitive
janitors.
eaters. Wow.
But yeah, I don't. I hate competitive eating. Nothing like against people who pursue that.
Oh, you just said it. You literally just said against those people.
I
literally
did.
just put them down.
I did.
You
But
have to
like,
own it if you're gonna
personally,
say,
I don't understand it. I feel like it's such a waste of food. Other countries look at the United States and they think of us as these huge gluttons, and that's like what competitive eating shines a light on. It just is eating for the sake of eating, to win what? Money, prizes.
Mhm.
But
Gold.
and I've come from a city that has a competitive eating event every year. And every year I'm very disgusted with the totals and the numbers and it's not something I would do. And I get it. Like, people, different strokes, different folks. People train for this competitively. They train hard for it. It's no joke to them. It's a passion of theirs. It's just, I can't get behind it. I feel like it's such a waste of resources to just see who can fit more into their gut than the next person. So yeah. 2 through 4 bad ideas. And those are my pilings.
Just want to cut. I want to let's just know that she gave a bad idea to Santa Claus, just to let you know.
I did give a bad idea.
Just I want to make sure we're all clear on that. All right, fine. Ajax, let's hope you're a little bit nicer to Santa Claus.
Well, we'll see.
Or else someone's getting coal in their stocking.
Ooh, those are some resources.
Mm-hmm.
So for your first idea, having the janitor to be changed to the supreme commander of the mop, sink, and floor, I feel like if this was a job title, I would want this job title. I would feel really good having this job title, and I would take my job very seriously and be proud of it. So yeah, this one's a good idea, of course. So for your second idea of, instead of burglar, the possession, location, and reallocation specialist, I feel like this is kind of classy sounding. If you were a part of the mob, or like, you know, the fancy 007 James Bond stuff, like, oh, I can just totally see this as a title of somebody's stature. I like it. That one's going in the good ideas pile. Your third idea of the competitive eating, high-speed mastication and digestion specialist it's very accurate to what they do, and I feel like that would make sense, but it wouldn't really fit on any brochure or like any type of promotion for this event.
Well, the event,
especially if there was more than one person involved. You promote the event, not their job title. Now, I would
on their
want to
business
have their
card,
job title. I'd be like, who is this person?
No, that should be on their job, your business card. Hi, my name is John Smith. I'm a high-speed mastication and digestion specialist. here are my qualifications.
Well, sometimes I'm writing down like a promotion of some sort. If you're talking to them, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile. Okay. Just because in case you need to fit it on some sort of publication for wherever this event, I don't want to have to be writing that all the time. All right, then for your fourth idea of the name that I still have no idea what it is, whatever, Santa. I applaud you for bringing some feeling to Santa and giving him some clout and respecting Santa. So it's not going to be a straight bad ideas piles. It's going to be ideas leaning towards bad. And those are my pilings. You
still might get some coal in your stocking. I'm just saying. I know it's only January when we're doing this, but I'm just saying. Might get some coal.
Thank you.
Yeah. And not the good kind of coal either. The crappy kind.
Ooh, my favorite.
Speaking of thanks, we should probably thank our listeners.
Thanks, listeners.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. You're the best. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you for listening. If you want to hear more from Ideas All Day, you can go to Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Stitcher, Anchor, or any other podcasting platform. If the podcasting platform you're currently listening to does not feature Ideas All Day, please email us at ideasalldaypodcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel with playlists, and we're also on Instagram. If you want to contact us at Instagram, you can do so at Ideas All Day Podcast. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.